It's Friday, and live from Texas, it's the Will Cain Show. Every so often, a political candidate comes along that surprises us, impresses us, and rises to the occasion. Last night in Maine, that occasion was the scramble to replace Graham Platner. And let's just say, even to the cynical mind of 2026, we can still be surprised.
Actually, Webb, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people, and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now.
Transparency. I wouldn't deceive you, said the man in the dress. A lot going on here. But honestly, a good rewrite might not be a bad idea, because even the Democrats admit their reputation, as evidenced on that stage, is in the toilet.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The reputation of the Democratic Party is in the toilet. And I think the reason it is because we've lost focus of being the party about kitchen table issues. That's what people, when I go down to the tasting room after a day at work, you know, I have a beer at the bar, people don't come in talking about cultural issues. I mean, I think that's a red herring that's been thrust upon us, and we take the bait every single time.
No, sir. Not the bar, not the kitchen. The focus for the modern-day Democrat Party is in another room in the House. Let's stick with the theme, the bathroom.
With the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom.
The headquarters of the modern-day Democrat Party could well be the bathroom, considering Graham Platner's history of pleasuring himself in a porta potty. But honestly, Democrats, if they may be focused on bathrooms, maybe they wouldn't be in the mess they are in, the mess that has led them to democratic socialism. Anyway, back to the group, tasked with rescuing the party's reputation.
You know, I served as the chief of staff, actually, while Trump was first in office for Katie Porter, who's became a household name because of the oversight that she did.
Katie Porter, yes, household name. But the only oversight right now would be for me and you to ignore this little good golden oldie from Katie Porter.
And the state could lose. Get out of my shot. Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
We'll give Mr. Wood, the candidate for Senate in Maine, this credit. He probably knows how to stay out of a shot. Anyway, back to the Democrats. Let's get serious. As serious as Katie Porter on a Zoom call. On those issues, not only is it hard to distinguish these candidates from one another, but also from, as I mentioned, socialists. The socialists knocking on the party's bathroom door.
You just said you're for Medicare for all. Is everyone on this panel? Dan, no?
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
It's incredible.
Just checking. Just checking. That's 8 for 8 with the candidates tonight.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm actually on Medicare.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it.
So he's got that going for him, which is nice. But it's not just Medicare that Democrats want to expand.
What would I do? Hell yeah. I'd expand the Supreme Court. We need to. Because the same rot and corruption that we have seen because of the lack of term limits in Congress is the same corruption that we have seen with lifelong appointments to the Supreme Court.
Hell yeah. Expand the Supreme Court, says yet another candidate for Senate in Maine. Let's do this. Let's follow the logic. Okay, so she suggests that the court is corrupt, and the way to make it less corrupt is to make it bigger. Because in the end, this isn't just about radical change to simply the Supreme Court.
All of us who have spoken tonight are very committed to either abolishing ICE or reforming and then abolishing ICE or starting all over or some combination therein. We can't get that done until we actually have control of the Senate.
Okay, Medicare, the Supreme Court, ICE. We're just weeks away in Maine from looking like New York.
The Mamdani administration is emboldening us so that we no longer tolerate the violence of evictions as a matter of business as usual.
So we have it. Laid bare for all. Abolish ICE, Medicare for all. Expand the court. It's in the open. It's on the debate stage. It's not some fringe of the party. It's not some singular city. It's on the debate stage running for Senate in Maine. At this point, democratic socialism could claim not just victory, but plagiarism. Because this, what you hear, is right out of their playbook. And it's not just Maine, even if they try to deny it.
You're campaigning with Bernie Sanders and AOC, two of the country's most prominent ones. Is there like a specific policy of theirs that you would not support if you were in Congress?
Yeah, the socialism part.
There you go. Thank you. Socialism. From yet another candidate running for Senate, this time in Michigan. So in Maine, what was that? What did we just see? What was that spectacle? It wasn't a show for the voters. They don't even have a say in choosing Platner's replacement. Instead, the candidates will be handpicked by the delegates next Saturday. So what was that circus? Joining me now, Democratic strategist Madeline Summerville and former special assistant to President Biden, Michael LaRosa. I do want to say before we start, the man on the stage running for Senate who simply wants to go to the bathroom is obviously comedic. It's unavoidably, it is nakedly comedic, but it is also sad. And so I just want to make that note. This is somebody dealing with something serious, and the Democratic Party has allowed this person to take quite literally center stage. And it's not just funny. It is quite simply sad. So what's going on, Michael? What is with the circus?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they were two pretty boring debates. And, you know, I watched so I could be an informed guest today. But it was the biggest winner in that debate was like my bed, because it put me to sleep. It was very, very dry, very underwhelming. The candidates, but same message, just a different messenger. We talked about this a few weeks ago, the Mamdani experiment that they're trying to produce in Maine. And again, all of these candidates had the same message as Platner, just a different messenger.
Yeah, I don't know how that puts you to sleep, quite honestly. And I'm not just now laughing about the clowns on stage.
They didn't really debate. It was like a groupthink seminar. They didn't debate.
Okay.
They all agreed with each other.
Okay, well, that's fair. But I guess what I think would have kept you up at night, I would have thought, Michael, is that there's this groupthink consensus, this agreement around what represents a more radical version of what I would assume you and many Democrats.
It's hard for me to take that seriously, though.
But you have to. You have to, Michael. It is taking place all across the country. It's taking place in races. And I would think you have to take that seriously, Madeline.
Yeah, but first, how I would characterize this debate, I would say, oy vey. This is a mess that we have here. Here's why. Because, and I've been saying this since the beginning, Mamdani is a unique candidate. Mamdani is charismatic, he's handsome, he's a good speaker, and he was talking about things that he's been studying and he's been learning about since he was a kid. You can't just reproduce this wherever you want to and have success. I'm glad that there's a trans candidate that's running, but obviously she's not as polished, right? I'm glad that that's opening up. But let me just tell you, the fact is, when I was a speechwriter in the Georgia State Senate, they were asking me to ignore the policy papers that they had put together where they wrote their mission statements, where they said things like, we believe that everyone should have food to eat and a bed to sleep in, Medicare for all, house to live in. I wrote that into the speeches and the caucus director took it out. And I said, why did you do that? She was like, it's too much, it's too harsh. And what I realized was, this is something that we stood for a really long time.
But Madeline, okay, might I humbly suggest that the adult in the room took that out of your speech because those are fantasy items provided by high schoolers who suggest that there's such a thing as a free lunch. Now, I am not trying to be mean. I'm trying to be direct, sincerely, Madeline. I don't know if you watched Martha McCallum's interview with the co-chair of the New York City DSA just a few moments ago. And I see you nodding along, Michael. But what you hear there is a juvenile vision of a society organized. That is the idea that you can have everything and somebody else will provide it. And what I am offering, and I'll come back to you, Madeline, Michael, is this, that if you proceed in a way like that New York City DSA co-chair did with Martha, or those debate points made last night, or that speech, everyone has a right to free food or whatever it may be, a bed, then you're going to get unserious people on stage. You make unserious demands, Michael, you get unserious people.
I don't disagree with you. They are unserious. But to me, it's not worth paying much mind to simply, and I know you're not going to like this answer, but where the majority is going to be won is not in New York City. I think Maine is just, we just kind of blew it. And that
Michigan?
primary, Maine. Well, Michigan, no, that's a fight. That's a serious fight. But everywhere else has no bearing on the majority in the House. There aren't DSA or socialist candidates running in the 18 toss-up districts that will determine whether Jeffries becomes Speaker. It's just not the case in the majority of contests this fall. And that's why we can't, the guy in Colorado is a district that Harris won by 77%. New York City, even Maine, Biden won by 9 points. These are not purple, districts. These are very blue enclaves.
I've heard you say that. I've heard that from many Democrats, and I've made my rebuttal very clear that I think you're whistling past the graveyard. Madeline, I hope I wasn't rude. I know I was direct. Now I want to give you a chance to respond.
No, of course. I think it's a reasonable criticism. What I would say in response to that is whether or not they think it's realistic, it was what the party wanted, obviously. And because they weren't willing to say it, they made somebody else say it, right? They weren't willing to be brave enough to say what they actually believed, because that's what they wrote on their mission statements, but they wouldn't say it in their speeches. So whether or not you agree,
people want a lot of things, Madeline.
That's fine. But it's what the
people want a lot of things. You can't promise them all in politics. If that's the way we're going to do politics, then I don't know. I guess the first guy to offer a Lamborghini will get it written into the speech. See which party can run first.
They wanted.
All right, Madeline Summerville, Michael LaRosa. Thank you for both being with us here today.
Thanks so much.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.